Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all together while others struggle to get ahead? What's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't? The answer often lies in small habits, simple actions that when done consistently can completely change your life. These habits don't require big, dramatic changes. They don't need huge amounts of time or effort, but they have the power to shift your mindset, transform your routines, and put you on the path to success. In this video, we're going to explore 10 small habits that can make a massive impact on your life. These are the habits that can help you build confidence, stay focused, and achieve your goals. If you're ready to start making real progress, stay with me, and let's dive into the small changes that can lead to big results. Number 1. Wake up early and give yourself a quiet moment. You know, one of the simplest and yet most life-changing habits a person can develop is waking up early and giving themselves a quiet moment. Now, I'm not talking about getting up early just to rush into the chaos, to get swept into the noise of the world right away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about getting up early and actually giving yourself that rare thing most people never find: space. A few quiet moments where you meet with yourself, where you get to decide how this day will go instead of letting the world decide it for you. See, waking up early is not about showing off. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about taking control. It's about refusing to be a slave to the noise. It's about saying, before this world makes a demand of me, I'm going to make a demand of myself. Most people never taste what that feels like. They wake up when they have to, they scramble, they rush, they run, they complain, and they spend their whole day trying to catch up. You can feel it when you look at them. You can feel the tiredness. You can feel the frustration. And sadly, most people have made that their normal. But I am here to tell you that's not normal. That's simply a habit you can break. You see, the quiet moment you give yourself in the morning is not just another routine. It's the foundation of the day. It's the foundation of your attitude. It's the foundation of your decisions. It's where you can gather yourself before the world tries to take you in 100 directions. And if you don't have that foundation, you are going to be weak when life pushes you. You are going to be fragile when troubles show up. You are going to be like a leaf blowing in the wind. But when you wake up early, even if it's just 30 minutes earlier than usual, and you sit with yourself, you are giving yourself power. You are telling yourself that you are important enough to deserve that time. You are telling yourself that you will not just live by reaction today. You will live by intention. You will live by choice. I have seen people change their entire lives just by doing this. Just by waking up earlier. Just by finding that quiet. And you may think it's small, but you don't understand what's really happening. What's happening is, you are creating space for reflection. Space to breathe. Space to think about where you are and where you want to go. You are giving yourself room to adjust, to correct, to be honest with yourself. And when you do that consistently, day after day, the compound effect kicks in. Small changes lead to big results. But first, you have to show up for yourself. You have to win that first battle of the day, the battle between sleeping in or rising up. Now, I'm not saying you need to wake up at 4 in the morning like some people preach. This isn't about a magic number. This is about winning the first hour of the day. This is about setting the tone. Whether it's 5, 6, or 7, what matters is that you make a choice. You own that hour. You own that space. And you use it wisely. And let me tell you, you don't need to fill that quiet moment with anything fancy. You don't need candles. You don't need special music. You don't need complicated routines. Just you and the quiet. Sit down. Take a breath. Think. Write something down if you want. Ask yourself real questions. Am I doing what I said I would do? Am I living the life I want to live? Am I being the person I said I would be? This is the kind of honesty you won't get during the day when everything is rushing around you. The quiet moment is where you hear the truth. The quiet moment is where you stop lying to yourself. And if you take it seriously, if you do it day after day, you start making adjustments. You start making better decisions. You start to catch yourself when you're about to waste time. You start to notice when you are drifting. That little moment will keep you grounded when life tries to pull you away. That little moment will give you strength to say no when you need to. It will give you courage to do the hard things. It will help you stand tall when others are bending. When I started doing this in my own life, I couldn't believe how much difference it made. I thought I was just buying myself a little quiet, but what I was really doing was building a new kind of discipline. I was putting myself first, not in a selfish way, but in a responsible way. I realized that if I didn't take care of my own thoughts, if I didn't settle my own spirit in the morning, the day would be too strong for me. I'd end up reacting instead of acting. I'd end up complaining instead of creating. I'd end up wasting time instead of investing it. And here's the most important part. No one can do this for you. Your parents can't do it. Your partner can't do it. Your friends can't do it. Only you can give yourself that quiet time. Only you can make the decision to rise early and take control. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. Of course it is. Change is never easy. Your body will resist. Your mind will give you excuses. You will tell yourself, I'm too tired, or it's not that important, or I'll start tomorrow. But I want you to hear me. Tomorrow never comes for most people. Don't be like most people. Be one of the few who actually shows up for themselves. The question is not, can you do it? The question is, will you do it? Will you pay the price of waking up early and giving yourself that quiet moment? Will you face the discomfort long enough to make it a habit? Because once it becomes a habit, it's not hard anymore. It becomes part of who you are. It becomes your strength, and you will feel the difference. You will feel calmer. You will feel stronger. You will walk into the day knowing you've already won the first hour. You will look people in the eye and know that you are not running from behind. You will carry a different energy, a different confidence, and people will notice, even if they don't know what changed, but you will know. You will know because you paid the price. You will know because you stood up when it was easier to lay down. You will know because you decided to be different. You decided to be the kind of person who doesn't wait for life to happen, but makes life happen. And one more thing, in that quiet moment, you will also find peace. Peace is not something that just shows up out of nowhere. Peace is earned. Peace is the reward for facing life head on. Peace is what you get when you stop running, when you stop hiding, when you stop making excuses, and when you start being honest with yourself. And when you taste that peace, even if it's just for a few minutes each morning, it will give you strength you didn't know you had. It will make you better, better in your work, better in your relationships, better with yourself. So if you've been looking for a big change, if you've been waiting for something to turn your life around, I am telling you, it starts here. It starts tomorrow morning. It starts by setting the alarm and getting up, not because you have to, but because you choose to. It starts by sitting with yourself, quietly, before the noise starts. Don't underestimate how much this small habit will do for you. It may look small, but it will change how you see the world. It will change how you carry yourself. It will change your life. If you want to build a better life, you don't have to wait. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need anything special. You just need to get up a little earlier and give yourself that quiet moment. And if you do it once, do it again and again, day after day, year after year. And you'll look back one day and realize that little quiet moment made all the difference. Number 2, write down your goals and read them every day. If you want your life to truly change, if you want to make progress that you can feel and touch, then you need to start by writing down your goals and reading them every single day. Not once a month, not when you feel like it, every single day. I have said this for years, and I still say it because it works. It is one of the simplest, but most powerful things a human being can do. And yet, most people never do it. They go year after year without ever putting on paper what they really want. They think about it sometimes. They daydream about it. They talk about it when they are frustrated, but they never sit down, take out a piece of paper, and write it down. And because they don't write it down, it never becomes real. It stays in the clouds. It stays in their head. And the sad truth is, if it stays only in your head, it will fade. You see, writing it down is more than just an exercise. It is a statement to yourself. It is you saying, this is important enough for me to put it in ink. It is you telling yourself, this matters. When you write something down, you give it shape, you give it weight, you give it a place. And once you've written it, once you can see it, once it stares back at you from the page, you start to feel something different. You begin to believe, even if just a little, that maybe it's possible. I have watched people, good people, hard-working people, go year after year without knowing where they were going. They woke up, they worked, they got tired, and they did it all again. And when you ask them, what do you want? They don't have a clear answer. They say things like, I just want to be happy, or I just want to get by, or I want to do better. But what does that even mean? Happy, get by, better than what? Vague wishes produce vague results. But when you write it down, now you have something clear, something real, something you can measure. Now you have something to fight for. And it is not enough just to write it once and forget about it. The magic is in reading it every day, every morning, every night, over and over until it becomes part of you. Because if you don't read it, you will forget. Life will distract you. The noise will get loud. People will pull you in every direction. Days will turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, you are far from where you wanted to be. But when you read your goals every day, you keep them alive. You remind yourself why you are working, why you are making sacrifices, why you are choosing discipline over ease. When you read your goals, you start to notice something else too. You start adjusting them. Because the first time you write them, they might be weak, they might be shallow. Maybe you only wrote what you think you should want, instead of what you really want. Maybe you only wrote what you think is safe, instead of what excites you. But as you read them every day, you will begin to get honest. You will scratch things out. You will add new things. You will change the order. You will make them clearer. And slowly they will become yours. Not someone else's version of success. Not what your neighbor wants. Not what you saw on television. Your goals, and when they become yours, everything changes. You start to see things differently. You start to act differently. You start making decisions with purpose. You stop wasting time. You stop getting caught up in things that don't matter. You stop looking for approval because you already know where you are going. You are not drifting anymore. You are moving. You are growing. You are aiming at something. Now some people hear this and say, Jim, I don't need to write it down. I already know what I want. And I say to them, no, you don't. If you haven't written it down, you don't really know it. It's not enough to have it floating around in your mind. The mind is too busy, too scattered. Write it down, see it, touch it, read it. Read it when you feel strong. Read it when you feel weak. Read it when you are on track. Read it when you are lost. Because it will bring you back, it will remind you, it will center you. And don't make this complicated. Don't make it a long list of 100 things. Make it clear. Make it specific. What do you want in the next year? What do you want in the next 5 years? What do you want in your health? What do you want in your relationships? What do you want in your work? What do you want to become? What do you want to experience? What do you want to give? Answer these questions with honesty, even if the answers scare you. And when you put them on paper, they will start to come to life. When I first did this, I was shocked. I was shocked at how unclear I was. I thought I knew what I wanted, but when I sat down to write, I struggled. I realized I had been running fast but without direction. I was working hard, but toward what? When you don't know where you're going, you can be busy every day and still end up nowhere. I decided that would not be me anymore. I wrote it all down. The small goals, the big goals, the things I wanted to change, the things I wanted to create, the things I wanted to fix. And once it was all there on paper, something happened. I could see it. I could feel it. And I knew it was now up to me to work toward it. And that is where courage comes in. Because once you write it down and you read it every day, you can no longer pretend you don't know. You can no longer hide behind confusion. You know exactly what you want. And now you have a choice to make. Do you go after it or not? That is a heavy moment, but it is also a powerful one. because it means you are now in control. I encourage you to make this a lifelong habit. Every year, sit down and rewrite your goals. Adjust them, improve them, make them clearer, and every day in between, read them. Don't let a day go by without remembering where you are going, because if you don't remind yourself, the world will try to give you its agenda. And most of the time, it is not an agenda that leads to your dreams. It is an agenda that leads to serving someone else's goals. There is nothing wrong with helping others, but don't lose yourself in the process. And here is the truth. Most people avoid. If you don't write it down, you probably won't do it. That's the hard truth. If you don't put it on paper, if you don't read it, it will fade. You will get busy. Life will happen. And you will wake up one day realizing you spent years reacting to life instead of creating it. And you will feel the weight of regret. Regret is heavier than discipline. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Choose discipline. Write it down. Read it. Live it. I know it might sound too simple. Some people want the complicated secret. They want the magic formula. But this is it. This is the magic. Write down your goals and read them every day. It is simple, but it is not easy, because it forces you to face yourself. It forces you to face what you really want. It forces you to do the work. But if you are willing to do it, if you are willing to take this small step every day, you will be amazed at where you end up. You will find yourself moving toward your dreams, sometimes without even noticing. You will start to become the person you always wanted to be. And not because someone handed it to you, but because you earned it. So don't put this off. Don't say you will start next week. Do it tonight. Take a few minutes. Find a quiet place. Get a piece of paper. Ask yourself what you want. Write it down. Be honest. Don't worry if it's perfect. Just start. And tomorrow morning read it. And the next day read it again. And every day after that read it, until it becomes part of you. And one day when you look back, you will realize that small habit, writing it down and reading it every day, was the turning point. The day you stopped living by accident and started living on purpose. Number 3, take 15 minutes daily to reflect on your actions. If you really want your life to change, if you want to see progress you can be proud of, you've got to get serious about reflection. I mean, sitting down quietly every single day and giving yourself 15 minutes, not much time, just 15, to go back through your actions. What did you do today? How did you spend your hours? Who did you become today? You see, this habit is small, but it holds power most people never realize. Most people rush through their days, run from task to task, always busy but never stopping to look back. They don't stop because stopping feels like wasting time, but in truth, stopping to reflect is the most valuable time you can give yourself. People ask me all the time, Jim, how do I change faster? And my answer is this: give yourself a few quiet minutes to think about what you are doing with your life. Not what others are doing. Not what the world is doing. Not what your friends are doing. You, what are you doing? You've got to know. You've got to see yourself clearly. Because if you don't stop to look at your actions, you'll keep repeating them whether they're helping you or hurting you. And nothing is more dangerous than living on automatic. 15 minutes is enough to look at your day and ask the real questions. Did you waste time today? Did you push yourself today? Did you talk to people with kindness, or did you let frustration win? Did you move closer to your goals, or did you drift a little farther away? These are not questions for others to answer. Only you know the truth. Only you know what you really did with the time you were given today. That's why this habit is so important. It brings you face to face with yourself. It is not always comfortable. I know that. Sometimes when you sit down and reflect, you will see things you don't like. You will see wasted hours. You will see the times you gave in to laziness. You will notice how you avoided the tough conversations, or how you didn't finish what you started. And that might hurt a little. But I will tell you this, it is better to hurt a little today and fix it than to hurt a lot years from now. Because you never notice the little mistakes piling up. When you reflect daily, you give yourself the gift of honesty. And honesty is the starting point of real change. No one changes what they don't admit. And you don't have to tell the world. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You just have to be honest with you. Take the 15 minutes. Find a quiet place and look back on your day with open eyes. Ask yourself if you gave your best effort. Ask if you let fear stop you. Ask if you spent more time worrying than working. And don't get angry with yourself if the answers aren't pretty. This is not about beating yourself up. This is about getting better. It's easy to avoid reflection because it doesn't bring immediate rewards. You don't get applause for sitting quietly and looking at yourself. You don't get paid for it. No one sees you do it. But I will tell you this, reflection is what builds the person people will one day applaud. It's the quiet, invisible work that changes everything. You see, success is not found only in action. It is also found in the quiet moments when you check the direction you're headed. When you make this a habit, 15 minutes a day, you will start to notice something very quickly. You will start correcting yourself faster. You will catch yourself wasting time sooner. You will fix things the next day instead of letting them go on for months. That is where the real progress starts. Because most people wait until they hit a crisis before they make changes. They wait until their health is gone, or their relationships are broken, or their work has collapsed. Don't wait for a crisis. Use daily reflection to fix the small problems before they grow into big ones. And remember, this is not about judging yourself. It is about learning. People who reflect daily don't walk around beating themselves up. They walk around aware. They know where they are. They know what they need to do next. They don't get lost in confusion. They don't let excuses run their lives. They know, and when you know, you act better. You'll also begin to spot patterns. You will see what keeps holding you back. You will notice the excuses you always fall for. You will notice how you spend too much time on things that don't matter. You will notice how often you choose comfort over growth. And when you notice, you get the chance to change it. But if you never reflect, you never notice. And if you never notice, you will never change. I have known people who changed their entire lives. Not because they found some secret, but because they made reflection a habit. Every evening, they sat down, took out a notebook and wrote down what worked and what didn't. They faced the truth about themselves every single day. And little by little, day by day, they became someone new, stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more focused, and all because they were willing to sit down and take a hard look at their day. Some people will disagree with this. They will say, 15 minutes won't make a difference. They are wrong. 15 minutes every day for a year is over 90 hours of reflection. 90 hours of thinking about your life, your actions, your choices. Imagine what you could change with 90 hours of honest reflection. Imagine how much better you would know yourself. Imagine how many small mistakes you could fix before they become regrets. It is one of the best investments you will ever make, and it costs nothing but your time. And when you do this, when you reflect every day, you will find you start living on purpose. You will stop drifting. You will stop repeating the same mistakes. You will stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You will stop living someone else's version of life. You will know who you are, where you are,
and where you are and where you want to go.
But here is something even more powerful. Reflection gives you peace. It gives you clarity. Most people carry around tension and stress, not because life is too hard, but because they are confused. They don't know why they feel stuck. They don't know why they are unhappy. Reflection clears the fog. It shows you why you feel the way you feel. It shows you the small changes you can make to lift the weight off your shoulders. You will also find that your confidence grows, not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally paying attention to your life. People who reflect regularly stand taller. They speak more clearly. They are not perfect, but they know themselves. And that is worth more than all the compliments in the world. So make this small promise to yourself. Find 15 minutes today, and every day. Sit quietly. Ask yourself the hard questions. Answer them honestly. Write them down if you can. And don't run from the answers. Face them. Use them. Change what needs changing. Celebrate what is working. And keep going. Because in the end, it is not just about changing your actions. It is about becoming the person who can live the life you want. And that happens in the quiet moments, not just the busy ones. That happens when you are willing to look at yourself clearly, every single day. and decide to be better tomorrow. If you would like me to continue directly with outline number 4, in the same long, raw, human-centered style, just say continue, and I will immediately do it. Number 4. Practice gratitude by listing 3 good things daily. Gratitude is a simple practice, yet it can completely transform your life. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of our daily routines, to focus on everything that's not going right, and to let our thoughts be consumed with what we don't have or what's missing. But when you take a step back, pause, and start intentionally focusing on what's good, you begin to change your entire perspective. The simple act of practicing gratitude each day can shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. You start to notice more of the good that's around you, the small wins, the everyday blessings, the things that might have once seemed insignificant, but now hold great value, and you'll be amazed at how this shifts not just your mindset, but your entire life. The world doesn't always give you what you want, but practicing gratitude helps you to start seeing what you already have. This isn't just about feeling thankful for the big things like family or your job. It's about taking a deep breath, sitting down, and really thinking about what's good in your life today. And I'm talking about small things too. A hot cup of coffee in the morning, a smile from a stranger, a quiet moment before the hustle of the day begins. These are the things that when you start to focus on them, add up to something much bigger than you realize. Here's the thing. We all face challenges, and we all experience moments of frustration. Life throws obstacles at us, and sometimes it feels like we're stuck. But the power of gratitude is that it forces you to break through that feeling of stuckness and look at what's working, even if it's just a few things. And when you start to focus on the positive, something incredible happens. You begin to attract more of it. You start to see more of the opportunities that are all around you, waiting to be seized. It's important to note that practicing gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges you're facing or pretending everything is perfect. It's not about dismissing the struggles or pretending like you don't have obstacles in your path. What it's about is balancing out those challenges with an equal focus on what's working. It's about making the choice to see what's good, even when things aren't going your way. And that's powerful. Because when you start practicing gratitude daily, you take control of how you see your life, and ultimately how you live it. One of the most powerful and practical ways to bring this gratitude practice into your daily life is by committing to listing 3 good things every single day. It's a small practice, but one that has the potential to bring profound change. And this is something you can do right now, today. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. Right now you can start this. Every day, no matter how difficult your day has been, sit down and write down 3 things that went well or that you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things, just 3 simple things. Maybe it's something like the fact that you woke up feeling rested, or that you had a great conversation with a friend, or that you accomplished a small task you've been putting off. It could be something as simple as enjoying a good meal or having the time to sit and breathe for a moment. These little moments of gratitude will begin to build on each other, and over time they'll change the way you view your life. You will begin to notice more of the good and less of the bad. There's power in this daily practice, and when you commit to doing it consistently, your mind will start to look for the positive in every situation. Instead of being overwhelmed by the obstacles in your life, your brain will begin to naturally focus on what's going right. This is how you start to train your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, on opportunities instead of setbacks, and on progress instead of perfection. The truth is, gratitude is not a skill that comes naturally to many of us. We're wired to focus on what's wrong or what's missing because that's how our brains are designed to help us survive. But we have the power to rewire that. We have the ability to choose to focus on the good, to intentionally practice gratitude every day, and to train our minds to see the positives in every situation. When you start listing 3 good things every day, you're not just making a list, you're changing your brain's wiring. You're creating a habit that forces you to look for and appreciate the positives. And over time, this small habit will have a massive impact on your mindset, on your attitude, and ultimately on your life. The key is consistency. Gratitude is not something you can do once and expect it to change everything overnight. It's a practice that you have to commit to every day. The more consistently you practice gratitude, the more natural it will become to see the good. Eventually, it will be second nature to look for the blessings, to focus on what's going right, and to celebrate the little victories in your life. Now you might be thinking, Jim, this sounds simple, but how do I do it on the tough days? How do I practice gratitude when everything seems to be going wrong? And I get it. I've been there. We all face those days when it feels like everything is falling apart, when we're overwhelmed by challenges, and when it feels impossible to find anything positive. But that's exactly when gratitude is needed the most. When things are tough, that's when your gratitude practice has the most power. That's when you need to make the effort to focus on the small wins, the little things that you can still be grateful for. It might be something simple like the fact that you have a roof over your head, that you have the opportunity to try again tomorrow, or that you have the strength to get through whatever you're facing. And don't think for a second that gratitude means ignoring your struggles. Gratitude doesn't erase your challenges, but it gives you the strength to face them. It helps you shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do. It reminds you of the good that's still in your life, and that makes it easier to keep moving forward. So if you're not already practicing gratitude, start today. Make a list of 3 good things every day, and see how it changes your perspective. Start small, and then build on it. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. And before you know it, you'll find that gratitude is no longer something you have to think about. It will become your automatic response to every situation. Remember, your mind is like a garden, and gratitude is the seed. If you plant it every day, it will grow into something beautiful. And over time, you'll find that your entire life begins to shift, because when you focus on what's good, you create a life that's full of positivity, opportunity, and joy. The power of gratitude is real. It's available to you right now, and it's in your hands. The choice is yours. Will you take control of your thoughts and train your mind to see the good? Will you commit to practicing gratitude every day, no matter what? If you do, you'll start to see the world around you in a whole new light. And when you do that, you'll find that you're capable of achieving more than you ever imagined.
Number 5. Plan your day before you let the day control you. The way you begin your day can set the tone for everything that follows. There's a power in the early moments of the morning that is often underestimated. You've heard people say, if you want to change your life, change the way you start your day. And it's true. Your day can go one of 2 ways. Either you're in control or the day controls you. It's as simple as that. If you're like most people, the first thing you do when you wake up is grab your phone. You check messages, emails, social media, and suddenly the day is already starting to dictate your mood. By the time you're out of bed, the world has already bombarded you with demands, notifications, and distractions. The energy you need to control your day is already being drained by the world's agenda for you. And here's the truth. If you don't plan your day, if you don't take control of your schedule, someone else will. Life will push and pull you in all sorts of directions. Now, what if I told you that you could change all of this? What if I told you that there's a simple way to take back control of your life, of your time, and your energy? It starts with planning your day. When you plan your day before it begins, you're giving yourself the greatest gift you can. You're choosing where your focus goes, and you're setting yourself up for success. Planning your day is like setting a roadmap for your life. You don't just get in the car and start driving aimlessly, hoping to arrive at a destination. No, you plan the route. You choose where you're going. And the same goes for your day. If you don't plan where you're going, you'll end up anywhere. And that's where most people get stuck. They end up at the mercy of other people's plans, priorities, and distractions. But when you take the time to plan your day, when you make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, you step into your power. You take control of your time, your tasks, and your energy. You don't wait for life to happen to you. You make life happen for you. Planning your day doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require some elaborate strategy or a 100-item to-do list. It's about being intentional with your time. It's about setting clear goals for the day and knowing exactly what you need to accomplish. It's about prioritizing what matters most and eliminating distractions before they even have a chance to sneak in. The key here is to make planning a habit. You can't just wake up one day and expect your life to magically be in order. You need to take small, consistent actions every day to put yourself in the driver's seat. The most successful people in the world are those who don't leave their day up to chance. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They don't wait for the world to tell them what to do. They wake up with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly what their day will look like. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything done. But the simple act of planning and prioritizing gives you a sense of control that most people never experience. It gives you a direction to move toward. When you're intentional with your time, the distractions lose their power. They no longer dictate your mood, your decisions, or your progress. You become the one who decides what matters most, and everything else takes a back seat. So how do you do this? How do you make planning your day a priority? It starts with taking just 10 to 15 minutes each morning to map out your day. I'm not talking about a complicated to-do list or a rigid schedule. I'm talking about identifying your top 3 priorities, the most important tasks you need to accomplish, and focusing on those first. When you start with the most important things, you create momentum. You start the day with purpose and direction, and everything else falls into place. This doesn't mean you should plan your entire day down to the minute. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us, and not everything will go according to plan. But when you've prioritized your most important tasks, even if things don't go exactly as you thought, you'll have a sense of accomplishment because you did what mattered most. You focused on what counts, and that's what will move you forward. Planning your day also means setting boundaries. You have to protect your time. You can't allow other people's demands to dictate your schedule. The people around you may have their own agenda, but that doesn't mean you have to put your life on hold to meet their needs. If you want to live a life of purpose and direction, you have to guard your time. You have to be intentional about how you spend it, who you spend it with, and what you allow to take up your mental and emotional energy. Now here's where the magic happens. When you plan your day, when you're intentional with your time, you create space for what matters most. You create space for your goals, your dreams, your growth, and your success. You start to see how everything fits together, how your actions each day move you closer to the life you want to live. But here's the thing, if you don't plan your day, if you don't take the time to decide how your time will be spent, life will fill that space for you. It will fill it with distractions, other people's problems, and things that don't move you closer to your goals. The world will pull you in every direction if you let it. And before you know it, weeks, months, and even years will pass. And you'll wonder where all your time went. You'll wonder why you didn't get closer to your dreams. It's time to stop living reactively. It's time to stop letting the day control you. You have the power to take charge of your life, to make the decisions that will move you forward. And it starts with planning your day. You might be surprised at how something so simple can change everything. Think about this for a moment. If you could get just 1 hour of focused, intentional work done every day, how much progress could you make toward your goals? 1 hour. That's 365 hours a year. That's over 15 full days of work. Just think about how much could change in your life if you committed to that. But it's not just about the time you put in. It's about the way you use that time. When you plan your day, when you focus on what matters most, you get more done in less time. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop getting distracted by the noise. You start working on the things that will take you where you want to go. So ask yourself, what would it look like if you took control of your day? What would it feel like to wake up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly what you need to do to move your life forward? How would your life change if you made the decision right now to plan your day before the day controls you? I'll tell you what will happen. You'll start to see results. You'll start to make progress. You'll start to feel more in control, more confident, and more accomplished. And that sense of accomplishment will build momentum. The more you plan your day, the more successful you'll become, because the more you'll focus on what matters. And when you focus on what matters, nothing can stop you. The power is in your hands. You have everything you need to take control of your day and your life. All it takes is a commitment to plan ahead, to prioritize what matters, and to make sure you don't let anything, any distraction, or any obstacle get in your way. When you take control of your day, you take control of your life, and that's when everything begins to change.
Number 6. Read 10 pages of a good book every single day. Reading is one of the simplest and most powerful habits you can build in your life. The truth is, the most successful and influential people in the world are readers. They're constantly expanding their knowledge, sharpening their minds, and transforming their lives. You don't have to spend hours reading each day to see the benefits. Just 10 pages of a good book every day can set the course for significant personal and professional growth.
But let's take a moment to understand why this habit is so powerful and how it can transform your life. You might be wondering, 10 pages, how is that going to make any real difference in my life? Well, here's the reality. It's not about reading 10 pages in isolation. It's about consistency. When you make it a daily practice, those 10 pages add up over time. It's the same principle that applies to any small habit you choose to practice consistently. It compounds. Over the course of a year, 10 pages a day equals 3,650 pages. Imagine how much knowledge you would have absorbed. Imagine how many new ideas you'd have to apply to your life. That's over 12 full-sized books each year. But let's go even further. Think about the person you want to become. The person who has the mindset, skills, and knowledge to achieve the life you're dreaming of. The person who leads with confidence, makes decisions with clarity, and knows exactly where they're headed. That person is constantly learning. They know that success doesn't come from just thinking about it, talking about it, or hoping for it. It comes from taking action and putting in the work. And part of that work is learning and growing every day. Now I get it. You're busy. You have responsibilities, deadlines, and distractions. Reading might seem like one more thing to add to your already packed schedule. But the truth is, the more you learn, the better you'll become at handling your responsibilities. The more you read, the more equipped you'll be to make decisions, solve problems, and create solutions. Reading doesn't just fill your mind with information. It gives you the tools you need to take action and make progress. I'll be honest with you. The majority of people don't read. They let life pass them by. And they don't take the time to invest in themselves. They're stuck in the same routines, making the same mistakes, and getting the same results. But you don't have to be like everyone else. You don't have to follow the crowd. You can choose to be different. You can choose to invest in your growth, your future, and your potential. You can choose to spend just a few minutes a day reading, and that simple decision will make all the difference in your life. What happens when you read? You expose yourself to new ideas, perspectives, and strategies. You start to see the world differently. You begin to recognize opportunities you might have missed before. You develop a deeper understanding of people, business, relationships, and personal development. Your mind starts to expand. You begin to see patterns and connections between things you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. You'll start to ask better questions. You'll make smarter decisions, and over time you'll see the growth and transformation that comes from reading consistently. But it's not just about reading anything. It's about reading the right things. Not every book is created equal. If you want to grow, if you want to be successful, you have to be intentional about what you read. Choose books that will challenge you. Choose books that will stretch your thinking. Choose books that will equip you with the tools, strategies, and insights you need to improve your life. You don't have to read books that are hundreds of pages long either. 10 pages a day is manageable. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it has a profound impact on your life. Just think about the power of consistent learning. If you read 10 pages a day for a month, that's 300 pages, a good-sized book. If you stick with it for a year, that's over 3,500 pages, and you'll have read 12 or more books. Now think about this. What if you don't read? What if you keep doing what most people do? Relying on the same old habits, not pushing yourself to grow, and staying stuck in the same mindset. You'll continue to get the same results. You'll miss opportunities to improve yourself, to learn something new, and to change your life. Let's talk about what you get from reading just 10 pages a day. First, you get knowledge. Knowledge is power, yes, but it's also more than that. It's confidence. The more you know, the more confident you'll become. You'll be able to speak with authority on subjects that matter to you. You'll be able to make decisions based on a strong foundation of information. You'll feel more prepared, more capable, and more ready to take on the challenges in your life. And that confidence will begin to spill over into every area of your life, from your work, to your personal relationships, to your health and well-being. Second, you get perspective. Every book you read introduces you to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new ways of doing things. You'll begin to think differently about challenges, goals, and obstacles. You'll start to see the world through a wider lens, and that's where real growth happens. As you expand your perspective, You'll start to make better choices. You'll understand why things work the way they do, and you'll be able to apply that knowledge to your own life. Third, you get strategies. Books are filled with strategies and insights that have been proven to work. These strategies have helped people overcome challenges, build successful businesses, and achieve their personal goals. When you read, you're learning from the people who have already been where you want to go. You're tapping into their wisdom and experience. You're learning from the best. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The strategies you need are already out there, and reading allows you to discover them and put them to use. Fourth, you get growth. There's no limit to how much you can grow when you commit to reading. Every time you pick up a book, you're taking a step toward becoming a better version of yourself. You're improving your mindset, your knowledge, and your abilities. You're developing yourself in ways that will help you reach your goals, solve problems, and create the life you want. And as you grow, you'll find that life becomes easier. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable will no longer be a threat. You'll have the tools you need to navigate through them with confidence. Now you might be thinking, I don't have time to read every day, but think about how much time we waste on things that don't matter. How much time do we spend scrolling through social media, watching TV, or doing things that don't contribute to our growth? Imagine if you took just a small fraction of that time and spent it reading. What if you gave yourself 10 to 15 minutes a day to read? That's it, just 10 to 15 minutes. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish in that short amount of time. And here's the best part. You don't have to be a speed reader. It's not about how fast you read. It's about consistency and depth. The goal is not to rush through the pages. It's to absorb the information, understand it, and apply it. You don't need to finish a book in one sitting. Take your time. Let the ideas sink in. Reflect on them. Implement them. That's where the real power of reading lies. There's no magic to it. The results come from showing up every day, from doing the work, from making the commitment to improve yourself. So ask yourself, are you ready to make this small change in your life? Are you ready to commit to reading just 10 pages a day, every day, for the rest of your life? Because if you do, you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish. Your growth will skyrocket. You'll gain the knowledge, confidence, and perspective you need to create the life you want. Remember, it's not the big things that make the difference. It's the small, consistent actions. Reading 10 pages a day may seem like a small commitment, but it will compound over time. Just imagine what you can achieve when you make this a part of your daily routine. So go ahead, pick up a book, read your 10 pages, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The choice is yours. The time is now. Start reading today.
Number 7. Move your body and feel the energy come alive. Moving your body isn't just something that helps you stay healthy. It's not just about looking good or fitting into a certain pair of jeans. It's about so much more than that. Moving your body, whether it's a quick walk, stretching, dancing, or any other physical activity, is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to ignite your energy and set the tone for the rest of your day. It's about tapping into something bigger than yourself, your vitality, your strength, and your potential. Now, we all know life can get hectic. We all have days when it feels like there's just not enough time for everything. Maybe you've been sitting at your desk for hours, or you've been glued to your phone or computer, trying to get through tasks that just seem to keep piling up. It's easy to get stuck in that mental and physical rut. But here's the truth. When you move your body, you move your mind. When you move your body, you get energy. Real energy. The kind that makes you feel alive, focused, and motivated. If you want to feel alive, you have to get out of your head and into your body. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of your thoughts, to overthink everything, to let stress build up until it feels like you can't move at all. But what happens when you move your body, even just a little? Something incredible takes place. You release the tension. You clear your mind. You wake up your senses. Your body starts to feel lighter, and your energy starts to flow. And that feeling, it's contagious. It carries over into the rest of your day, into your work, your relationships, and your personal goals. Think about the last time you got up and moved. Maybe you took a walk outside,
or you stretched your arms after a long day of sitting. What happened? You felt a shift, didn't you? That physical movement had an immediate impact on how you felt mentally and emotionally. You felt clearer. You felt better. And that's no accident. When you move your body, you activate a chain of reactions in your body that release endorphins, the chemicals that make you feel happy, energized, and motivated. Movement helps to clear away the mental fog, which is something we all need. This is one of the most straightforward and effective ways to beat stress and overcome overwhelm. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment to take action. You don't need to have the perfect plan or be in the best shape of your life. You simply need to start moving. Because when you do, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the energy course through your body, and you'll find that you have more focus, more drive, and more confidence to take on the challenges in front of you. We often think that success is all about working harder, pushing through obstacles, and doing more. But what if we stopped trying so hard to get everything done and started focusing more on how we feel? What if we put more energy into maintaining our physical health? Because we understand that it impacts our emotional and mental well-being. When you feel energized, you're more productive. When you feel clear-headed, you make better decisions. When you feel confident in your own body, you feel confident in your ability to take on anything. You've heard it before, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. But how many of us actually prioritize that? We talk about taking care of ourselves. But do we really walk the walk, or do we let stress, exhaustion, and bad habits take over? Movement is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to take care of your body. And I want to remind you, you don't need to wait for a gym membership or some fancy workout routine to get started. You don't need to run a marathon or train for a triathlon. You just need to move your body, no matter how simple or small the movement might be. Whether it's walking, stretching, dancing in your living room, or going for a run, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're telling your body, I care about you. Think about the results you're getting from your current habits. If you're feeling sluggish, if you're feeling stuck, or if you're just not able to keep up with everything you want to do, ask yourself, when was the last time I moved my body? Because that's where it all starts. Movement creates momentum, and momentum is what will carry you forward in every area of your life. So what does moving your body look like in a practical sense? You don't need a lot of time or fancy equipment. You don't need a gym membership or a personal trainer. All you need is your body, a little space, and the willingness to take action. Start small. You don't have to run a marathon tomorrow. You don't have to lift weights or do push-ups for an hour. Start by committing to move your body for at least 15 minutes a day. That's it. Just 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes will make all the difference. For example, every morning, get up, stand tall, stretch your arms to the sky, and take a few deep breaths. Feel the energy filling your lungs and your body. Stretch your legs. Stretch your back. Give your body the movement it craves after hours of rest. It's amazing how just a few minutes of stretching can make you feel like a different person. Your blood starts flowing. Your body starts waking up. And with that movement, you'll feel your mind start to shift. You'll feel clearer, more focused, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Maybe you could take a walk during your lunch break. Step outside, take in the fresh air, and move your legs. Notice how your surroundings look, feel, and smell. Let that movement clear your mind and reset your energy. Maybe you love to dance. If that's the case, put on your favorite music and dance like no one's watching. It's one of the easiest ways to lift your mood and increase your energy. You can also incorporate more physical movement into your daily tasks. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk to the store instead of driving. The key is to move, whether it's intentional or just part of your day-to-day activities. And here's the beauty of it. The more you move, the more you'll want to move. As you start to feel the benefits of your movement, more energy, more confidence, more clarity, you'll naturally start incorporating it into your routine. It won't feel like a chore. It will feel like a gift you give yourself every day. Because movement isn't just about fitness, it's about freedom. It's about feeling alive and in control of your body and your life. But let me be clear, moving your body isn't just about physical results, it's about emotional and mental results too. It's about how you feel. When you take the time to move, you're creating a space where your mind can reset and recalibrate. You're releasing tension, stress, and anxiety. You're making room for peace, focus, and confidence. And that's what will carry you through the toughest days. The ability to keep moving, to keep pushing forward, even when it feels difficult, is a muscle that you build over time. Every time you choose to move your body, you're reinforcing your belief in yourself. You're telling yourself that you're capable of feeling good, of being active, of staying healthy, and of achieving your goals. And that momentum, it doesn't just stay in the gym or during a workout, it follows you into your work, your relationships, your goals, and your ambitions. The more you move your body, the more you show up as your best self, the more you feel confident in your actions, and the more you can bring that energy into everything you do. So make a promise to yourself, move your body, every day. It doesn't matter how busy you are or how much you have to do, movement is a priority. Start small, and let that small commitment grow into something powerful. Because when you move, you feel alive, and when you feel alive, you're unstoppable.
Number 8. Save a small part of your income without excuses. The ability to save money. Even a small part of your income is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how disciplined you are with the money you already have. You've heard the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. And while that might sound cliche, it carries a lot of truth. The key to financial freedom doesn't lie in the size of your paycheck, but in how much you are able to set aside, even when it seems like you don't have enough. The truth is, you'll never feel like you have enough money. You'll always have things you want to buy, bills to pay, and plans for the future. And that's the trap many people fall into. They say, I'll start saving when I make more money. But what happens? They make more money, and then they just find more things to spend it on. They find new excuses to put off saving for the future. But if you don't start saving now, even if it's just a small amount, you'll be stuck in that cycle forever. Saving money isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not just about putting aside a little bit for a rainy day, it's about preparing for the future. And I'm not just talking about retirement. I'm talking about all the things you'll need money for in the years ahead. Your dreams, your goals, the opportunities that will come your way, and even the unexpected emergencies. You can't control everything that happens in life, but you can control how prepared you are when things do come up. You might be thinking, but I can't afford to save right now. You might feel like you're already stretched thin, with bills piling up, and not enough hours in the day. But here's the thing. Saving isn't about having a lot. It's about discipline. And it's about making a choice every day to prioritize your future over your immediate desires. Even if you only save a small amount, the simple act of setting aside something consistently will start to change your mindset. It will shift your focus from living paycheck to thinking long-term. One of the biggest challenges people face is that they think they need to save big amounts to make a difference. They get discouraged because they can't set aside hundreds of dollars at once. But that's the wrong way to think about it. Saving isn't about the amount, it's about the habit. If you can start saving just a small percentage of your income today, even if it's just 1%, you're building a habit that will serve you well for the rest of your life. You'll train your mind to think differently about money. Here's the thing. Money doesn't just come and go, it flows. It flows in and out of your life every single day. The difference between the people who are financially successful and those who aren't often comes down to one simple factor: their ability to control that flow. When you can save a small part of your income, you're taking control. You're not letting money control you. You're making a conscious decision to put something aside, to be patient, and to trust in the process. The best part is, once you start saving that small amount, it will build on itself. You might start with $10 a week or $20 a paycheck, but over time that adds up. That small amount will grow. As you get more comfortable with saving, you'll find ways to put aside more. And here's where it gets really powerful. When you save consistently, you stop seeing money as something you have to spend right away. You start seeing it as something you can invest in your future. You start seeing the possibilities that come from having that financial cushion. Another benefit of saving, even a small part of your income, is that it gives you peace of mind. In a world where everything seems uncertain, jobs can be lost, health can decline, and the economy can change at any time.
Having savings gives you a sense of security. You won't feel trapped by financial stress. You won't be living paycheck to paycheck, constantly worried about how you're going to make ends meet. And that peace of mind? It's priceless. It's the kind of security that lets you make decisions without fear. You can take risks in your career. You can invest in your personal growth. You can enjoy life without that constant underlying anxiety. If you want to build wealth, this is where it starts. This isn't about making a huge investment or getting lucky with a windfall. This is about the small everyday choices you make that lead to big results over time. It's about developing the mindset that you will always pay yourself first, even if that's just a small amount. It's about knowing that your future self will thank you for it. You might be tempted to think that saving is only for people who are already rich. But that's the biggest mistake you can make. Wealth isn't something that happens overnight, and it doesn't require a high income to build. Wealth is the result of making smart, consistent decisions over time. And those smart decisions start with saving. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll be able to see the results. The key is to get started today, not tomorrow. Saving a small part of your income isn't about making huge sacrifices. It's about making conscious decisions to put your future first. It's about taking control of your financial situation so you can create more opportunities for yourself. And trust me, once you get into the habit of saving, it won't feel like a sacrifice. It will feel empowering. You'll start to feel more in control of your life. You'll feel more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You can start small. Maybe it's just $10 a week. Maybe it's $20 every paycheck. But no matter how small it is, the act of saving is what matters. It's the habit of putting something aside consistently. And as that money grows, you'll begin to see how much it really adds up. Before long, you'll find yourself in a position where you can make investments, take calculated risks, and live life on your own terms. You'll no longer feel like you're at the mercy of your paycheck. You'll feel like you're in control, building the financial future you deserve. The bottom line is simple. Saving a small part of your income is not just something you should do. It's something you must do. If you want to create a future of financial stability and freedom, don't wait until you make more money. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Commit to saving a small amount, and over time you'll see that those small amounts add up to something bigger than you ever imagined. That's how wealth is built. That's how financial freedom is achieved. And that's how you'll change your life.
Number 9. Speak kindly to yourself, even when you fail. We live in a world where the noise around us is constant, where opinions and judgments are never in short supply. Everyone has something to say. But what about what you say to yourself? The truth is, how we speak to ourselves matters more than almost anything else. Your inner dialogue shapes your life. It sets the tone for how you experience success and failure, and it has the power to either build you up or break you down. And here's the most important thing. Most of us don't give enough thought to how we speak to ourselves. We criticize, doubt, and beat ourselves up more than anyone else ever could. And we do it with such regularity that we think it's normal. But it's not normal. It's destructive. When you fail, and you will fail, that's part of life. How you talk to yourself afterward will make all the difference. Failure is a given. There's no way around it. Whether it's a setback in your career, a personal goal that slips through your fingers, or something you've put your heart into that doesn't work out, failure is part of the process. It's the price you pay for pursuing your dreams. But how you handle it, how you speak to yourself when it happens, is what separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up. You have to remember this. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply an event. It doesn't define who you are as a person. It doesn't take away from your potential. It doesn't change your value. But when you speak to yourself harshly after a failure, you begin to internalize those words. You start to believe the negative things you say about yourself. You start to doubt your ability. You start to convince yourself that maybe you're just not good enough. And that's where the real danger lies. When you start to believe those lies you tell yourself, think about it. When you fail, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Do you say to yourself, I messed up, I'll try again? Or do you say, I'm a failure, I'll never get this right?
The first is healthy. The second is a killer. We all know the feeling of letting ourselves down. We all know what it's like to fall short. But here's the key. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. What matters is that you don't let your failure become your identity. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. If you want to succeed in life, you must learn to speak kindly to yourself, especially when you fail. You need to be your biggest cheerleader, not your harshest critic. When you speak kindly to yourself, even in your moments of failure, you send a message to your subconscious that says, I am worthy of success. I am capable of doing better. I will learn from this and come back stronger. You're building resilience. You're reinforcing your belief in yourself. And that belief is the foundation of success. Now I know it's not easy. It's hard to be kind to yourself when you feel like you've let yourself down. But the truth is, being kind to yourself isn't about excusing your mistakes or making excuses for failure. It's about understanding that failure is not permanent. It's a part of the journey. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. And the only way you fail for good is if you stop trying. So how do you start speaking kindly to yourself? First, it starts with awareness. Notice the words you use when you're frustrated with yourself. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when things don't go as planned. Are you encouraging, or are you beating yourself up? When you catch yourself being negative, stop. Challenge those thoughts. Replace the harsh words with kinder, more empowering ones. Instead of saying, I'm terrible at this, try saying, I can improve with practice. Instead of thinking, I'll never get this right, tell yourself, I'm learning. This is just part of the process. It also helps to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Remember that no one who has ever achieved great things did so without failure. Success is a series of small failures, lessons and improvements. Failure doesn't mean you've reached the end. It means you're still in the game. It means you still have room to grow, and you still have the ability to rise again. When you view failure as a learning experience, it becomes easier to speak to yourself with kindness. You begin to see the value in every mistake, in every setback, because you know they're not the end of the road. They're the building blocks of success. There's something powerful about forgiving yourself for your mistakes. It's like giving yourself permission to grow. When you speak kindly to yourself after a failure, you're forgiving yourself for not being perfect. And in doing so, you release the burden of shame and guilt. You free yourself from the chains that hold you back from moving forward. And that freedom, that's where the real growth happens. Here's what you need to understand. You are the person who determines how you feel about yourself. You are the person who shapes your self-worth, no one else. When you speak kindly to yourself, you affirm your worth and your potential. You give yourself the grace to move past mistakes, to keep going when it feels hard, and to believe that success is within your reach. You give yourself the power to try again, to improve and to keep learning. And every time you do that, you become stronger. I can promise you this. When you make the decision to speak kindly to yourself, when you choose to be your own biggest supporter, instead of your harshest critic, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and over time you will start to see the results of your efforts. You'll start to see yourself succeeding in ways you never thought possible, not because you're perfect, but because you refuse to give up, no matter how many times you fail. Remember, failure is just a part of the process. It's not a permanent state. It doesn't define you. What defines you is your ability to get back up, to keep moving forward, and to speak to yourself with love, respect, and encouragement every single time. So, the next time you face a setback, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would treat a friend. Tell yourself, it's okay. I've got this. I'll try again. I'll learn from this. I am capable. I am worthy. And when you do that, you'll not only change the way you view failure, you'll change the way you view yourself. You'll begin to see that you're not defined by what you've lost or what hasn't worked out. You're defined by how you rise, by how you bounce back, and by the strength and perseverance you show every time you face a challenge. So be kind to yourself. Speak with love and encouragement, especially when you fail, because every time you do, you're building the foundation for future success. You're giving yourself the chance to rise again and again. And in the end, that's what leads to the life you want. A life where failure doesn't stop you, but only makes you stronger, wiser, and more determined to keep going.
Number 10. End each day by reviewing what you learned today. Each day is an opportunity to learn something new. We wake up, go through our routines, deal with challenges, and interact with people. But in all that, how much time do you actually take to reflect on what you've learned? How often do you sit back at the end of the day and truly examine the lessons you've gathered along the way? The truth is, most people rush through their days without taking a moment to pause and reflect. We're so focused on what's next that we forget to recognize what we've gained. And that's a big mistake. You see, growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens intentionally. It happens when we are aware of what we've learned. When we take the time to review the day, reflect on our actions, and process our experiences. That's how we become better versions of ourselves. That's how we move forward, one step at a time, in the right direction. But it all starts with reflection. At the end of each day, reviewing what you've learned serves as a tool for improvement. It's a way to look at your actions, your decisions, and your responses, and learn from them. When you reflect, you take all of those experiences, the good, the bad, the failures, and the successes, and you sift through them to find valuable insights. These are the moments where you stop and say, what can I take away from today that will make me better tomorrow? If you're not reviewing, you're missing out on one of the most powerful strategies for personal development. When you review your day, you are actively engaging with your own growth process. You're taking control of your learning, and you're saying, I am responsible for my progress. That's how you make consistent improvements. And it's important to note that reviewing isn't just about pinpointing mistakes. It's about recognizing the areas where you've succeeded as well. When was the last time you stopped and celebrated the little wins? Reflecting on what went well in your day can give you the confidence you need to tackle tomorrow's challenges. It's too easy to focus on the things that went wrong, but if you only focus on the negative, you'll lose sight of the bigger picture. When you start to recognize and celebrate your progress, no matter how small, you begin to build momentum. And when you build momentum, success becomes inevitable. You start stacking up wins. You begin to create a snowball effect where each day adds to the next, and each step forward propels you closer to your goals. This is the power of reflection. But you can't just glance over the day and say, well, I learned a little today. That's not enough. You have to dig deeper. Ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my goal? What actions, big or small, made a difference in my progress? And just as importantly, ask yourself, what could I have done differently? Where did I fall short? And how can I improve tomorrow? We all have flaws. We all make mistakes. The key is not to get discouraged. The key is to learn from those mistakes. There's no such thing as failure when you take lessons from every experience. If you're truly committed to becoming the best version of yourself, this practice of daily reflection is non-negotiable. You can't improve without recognizing where you are. You need to know where you stand in order to take the next step forward. So, when you reflect at the end of your day, you're measuring your progress. You're holding yourself accountable, and you're setting yourself up for success. When you look back on your day and recognize what you've learned, you've already taken the first step toward improving tomorrow. That's the power of daily reflection. Another important benefit of reviewing your day is that it helps you control your mindset. Our minds have a tendency to get cluttered with distractions, negativity, and self-doubt. But when you reflect, you're choosing to focus your mind on growth. You're choosing to look at the positives, the progress, and the lessons. Instead of getting lost in the things that went wrong or the things you can't control, you shift your perspective from victimhood to empowerment. And that shift in mindset is what leads to real growth. I want you to understand this. Your life is shaped by what you focus on. The things you give attention to are the things that expand. When you take time every day to review and focus on what you've learned, you're building a habit of positivity, growth, and progress. You're training your mind to find opportunities, not obstacles. You're training yourself to see the value in every experience, even the challenging ones. Now let me tell you something. You can't just go through the motions and expect results. It's not enough to just get by. You have to be intentional.
You have to make a commitment to yourself to review, to reflect, and to learn every single day. This is what separates those who are successful from those who are simply existing. The successful ones are the ones who are committed to continuous growth. They make reflection a part of their daily routine. And that's why they keep getting better. That's why they keep achieving more. So how do you make this practice part of your life? It starts with making it a habit. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. But you do need to take a few minutes each day to sit down and review what happened. It could be first thing in the morning, as you're getting ready to start your day, or it could be right before bed, as you unwind and prepare for tomorrow. The key is to carve out time for it and make it non-negotiable. In those moments of reflection, ask yourself some key questions. What did I learn today? What could I have done better? What small steps did I take toward my goal? What progress did I make? And just as importantly, what am I grateful for today? Because gratitude, when practiced regularly, adds to the power of reflection. It helps you recognize the good even in difficult days. You don't have to wait for major milestones or big successes to take the time to reflect. In fact, the most successful people make reflection a daily practice. No matter how big or small the wins are, it's about consistency. It's about creating a routine that reinforces growth every single day. Because when you do this, you're not just reviewing your day, you're taking charge of your future. You're setting yourself up for a life of success. If you truly want to grow, you have to make this a habit. End your day by reviewing what you've learned. Look back with intention, with purpose. What can you take from today that will help you tomorrow? This is how you continue to grow, how you continue to progress. This is how you ensure that every single day counts, that every single day is a building block towards a better future. It's all about learning from your experiences. Life is constantly offering us lessons. It's up to you whether you choose to learn from them or not. When you take the time to reflect on what you've learned, you're opening the door to endless possibilities. You're creating a mindset of growth, and that mindset is the foundation for all the success you'll ever achieve. So at the end of each day, ask yourself, what have I learned today? And make that review a part of your journey toward greatness.